Watch what happens to this watermelon.
Oh, you got it!
How did a shepherd boy take down a giant?
The Bible says that David defeated Goliath with a smooth stone, and he did it using a sling.
So to prove that this story isn't just made up, I've asked my friend Dash Rendar, who is a skilled expert in ancient weaponry, to help me, a complete beginner, sling a stone at a ballistic gel head.
This is meant to replicate human flesh, muscle, and the actual skeleton.
And we're gonna test some other biblical weapons along the way. My goal is to land a fatal shot at this dummy, just like David did to Goliath. But there's only one problem. I'm actually terrible at slinging.
Aww.
The first time I tried to sling was in Israel at the Valley of Elah, the same exact valley where David fought Goliath. So naturally, when our tour guide asked the group who wanted to try to sling a rock here, I immediately volunteered. But then this happened.
Where'd it go? Where is it?
It's right there. All right. Well, the good news is that it is only up to go from there.
But what Dash doesn't know is that a couple days earlier, I started practicing on my own with tennis balls, but I couldn't even keep it in the sling. So I tried switching slings, one that was a little more similar to the kind that David might have used.
Oh.
David's sling most likely would have looked something like this. It was basically a thin rope with a leather pouch attached to the middle, which was where the stone was placed. As the sling spins, centripetal force keeps the stone moving in a tight circle. When the timing is right, the slinger lets go of one cord, the pouch opens, and the stone flies straight toward the target. Sounds simple enough, but after about 50 tries, I couldn't even hit this giant wooden board once. How was I gonna hit my Goliath dummy head?
So the tennis balls were pretty light, so I'm gonna try rocks.
Yeah, I'm sure it's just the tennis ball's fault. But I was determined to hit at least something that day, no matter how long it took.
Oof. Look at the dent I put in this thing so far. All right, so you see I already put a couple dents in this wood, but I still haven't hit the target, so let's go try again.
Now, I had only been practicing with the sling for about an hour at this point, but David would have trained with this weapon his whole life. It was common for shepherds in ancient times to use a sling to defend their flock from predators. Even today, in some parts of the Middle East, shepherd boys are trained to use a sling to protect their sheep. This is probably why, when David volunteered to fight Goliath, he told the king of Israel that he had already struck down a bear and a lion. All that time in the shepherd's field alone with his sheep must have given him a ton of time to practice until he was ready for the giant. But I was still struggling pretty bad.
So close. All right, so we've been out here for a couple of hours, and as you can see, I've not made a whole lot of progress. The reason I set out to do this was because of my son.
This is my son, and this is a video of him with a tiny sling pretending to defeat cartoon Goliath because it's his favorite story of all time. The truth is, I was the first to volunteer to try slinging in Israel because I wanted to show my 3-year-old son a video of his dad slinging a stone just like his favorite person in the Bible.
And so that's the reason why I'm out here today, is because I want my son to see that the Bible is accurate, the Bible is true, and that his dad can hit a simple target with a stone and a sling.
And thankfully, after trying a few more 50 tries, this happened.
Woo! We did it! Oh my gosh! Look at that! Yes! Yes! Woo! That only took 3 hours.
But the excitement of landing my first shot quickly faded when I reviewed the footage of my slinging with the pro slingers I saw online. Okay, you guys, I just reviewed the footage and realized that I was rotating the sling in the completely opposite direction. So that just means I'm gonna have to do a lot more practice if I'm gonna actually do any damage to our Goliath dummy. Wish me luck. I really thought that all hope was lost, even though I had already promised my son a video of his dad defeating Goliath, when suddenly I came across this guy on YouTube. He was slinging stones upwards of 100 miles per hour, and accurate too, even breaking concrete. He even trained the actor who played David from the hit series House of David on Amazon Prime. So I sent him an email, and to my surprise, he only lived 4 hours from me and was down to teach me how to sling like David. And so, here we are today.
This is called an executioner's sword. So this was used. No, straight up. This was used specifically. There's no actual tip on it.
No way.
So it's actually used for executions, meant literally just to chop off a head. That's the sole function of it.
Wow.
I had like 6 bones stacked up, and it went straight through. Like it was just
like some fake bones.
no real. No.
Really?
Yeah. Cow bones.
Whew, I am so happy to hear him say cow bones. We're gonna test out some of these weapons later, but first, I need to learn how to use a sling the right way. Not gonna lie, I'm a bit nervous.
We only have today.
Yes.
For me to become an expert slinger like David.
All right, very good. Okay, so what we're gonna be using today, this is a Balearic style, so there's actually not a pouch or a hammock in the back. It's just two splits right there.
This Balearic sling actually got its name from the Balearic Islands, where the most deadly slingers lived. Ancient sources say they trained from childhood. Their parents would even make them knock down their bread with a sling before they could eat dinner. Balearic slingers carried 3 slings for 3 different distances: short, medium, and long. These island warriors became so famous for their skill with a sling that the Roman Empire even hired them to help them fight in their military campaigns. Their job was to attack first before the opposing army could reach them with their swords. So it makes sense that this would have been David's choice weapon up against someone he didn't stand a chance against in close combat. The sling was definitely not a kid's toy, it was a deadly device. And I was about to find out just how deadly it could be.
All right, so we're gonna start just with the actual release and how it works.
Okay.
So the way you have it just down next to your side.
Should I put a rock in there?
No.
Okay, no.
We'll get there.
Dash went over some of the fundamentals with me, like how to rotate the sling in the right direction this time. And to my surprise, after some practice, I actually started slinging some stones with what felt like a good amount of power.
Ooh,
there, that was good.
That one felt a little more powerful.
Yeah.
Maybe not enough to defeat a giant, but...
I'd be like, ow, the heck, man.
Now that I have at least some power behind my swing, I need better accuracy if I'm going to destroy Goliath. So we set up multiple clay pots, but even though I was slinging my rock faster, I couldn't quite hit the targets.
Oh.
So while I try to hit these clay pots, Jonathan from the future is going to tell you about the sponsor of today's video, Incogni. Over the past few years, I've seen an exponential increase in the amount of spam calls that I've been getting. You might have noticed this too, but the problem is actually way worse than just some annoying spam calls.
Oh.
Just this year, security researchers discovered an unsecured online database containing 149 million usernames and passwords from services like Gmail, Facebook, and even Netflix. If your name was on that list, you could be at serious risk of identity theft. This is why I use Incogni.
Oh, you got it!
First
Nice.
try, guys, first try.
Incogni gets my name erased from hundreds of data brokers, so that if any of these companies has a leak, my name isn't even on the list anymore. Look, Incogni has already permanently removed my name from over 500 data brokers, and it would have taken me almost 400 hours to do all of this work manually. But instead, I just set up an account and let Incogni do its thing.
Woo!
Nice.
Just cut to the close-up.
If you want to set up an account too, go to incogni.com/ear-to-hear and use code ear-to-hear for 60% off. Also, with Incogni's custom removals feature in the Unlimited plan and the Family Unlimited plan, you can point to any People search site or other website where your personal information is visible, and one of their special privacy agents will take care of the rest for you. Just click the link below to claim your 60% off and get your personal data off the market.
Oh, dude! That was sick.
Okay, I'm honestly getting worried. At this point, I can't even hit a clay pot from 7 feet away.
All right, we got a watermelon here. See what kind of damage we can do to this guy. I think Goliath's head would have been about this size, maybe.
Yeah, probably a little bigger.
So I even have a smaller target than David had.
And these watermelons are our last targets before I face Goliath. I asked Dash to try to hit the first watermelon because I wanted to watch his form. And I thought it would look pretty cool in slow-mo.
Oh, you got it!
I wasn't wrong. But now it was my turn.
I think you got this, man. Just repeatable movements, you're there.
All right, this is a stone right here. It's going through Goliath's watermelon head. Oh,
that was so close.
That almost went through.
So close.
But eventually, after a few more tries, this happened.
Oh! Woo!
Heck yeah, man.
Yes,
well done,
dude.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, let's look at it. Look at the stone. Look at this stone. It literally went into the watermelon skull. Anybody want some watermelon?
But even though I made contact with the watermelon, my speed was pretty low, which is why we didn't see any flying chunks like when Dash hit his. I was going to need a lot more speed for Goliath. But honestly, just the fact that I made contact at all with the target is making me feel like I'm finally ready to face my giant. But right before I was about to face Goliath, some of our cameras overheated and shut down.
All right, so it's pretty hot out here. We've been out here for a couple hours trying to hit these targets. You guys, this is a lot harder than it looks.
So while most of our cameras cool down, Dash is going to show me 4 main weapons that were absolutely terrifying to the armies of the Bible, starting with one of the most brutal weapons of all, the khopesh. These curved swords were primarily used by the Egyptians, and as you're about to see, are super deadly. You can actually go to Egypt today and see the khopesh all over the walls of their ancient temples. It's likely that the Egyptians were carrying these exact weapons when chasing Moses and the Israelites to the edge of the Red Sea in the Exodus. Imagine being surrounded by angry Egyptians waving these human slicers around. No wonder they were afraid.
And so this is a slashing, slicing weapon. It's gonna chop through just about anything, so.
Okay. All right.
Up and down.
Oh, oh,
Easy.
I got it.
Yeah.
Oh! Yeah, this thing works, man.
Yeah.
But now it was time for me to try out another ancient weapon I have absolutely no business using.
Whoa, look at that thing.
So you can launch big rocks. Ready?
Yeah. Whoa!
The staff sling is like the big brother of the sling and the little brother of the catapult. It was mainly used during biblical times to hurl larger stones over the fortified walls of ancient cities. Like when the Assyrians invaded King Hezekiah's kingdom, the Bible says that King Sennacherib of Assyria brought his army into the land of Judah and took the city of Lachish. Now, it's not certain that the Assyrians were using staff slings in this battle, but based on the time period, it's definitely possible. However, we do know that regular slings were used by the Assyrians to conquer the city of Lachish. This is because the king of Assyria constructed massive wall reliefs depicting his victory over Lachish at his palace in Nineveh. Wall reliefs that have been discovered and preserved to this day at the British Museum. And guess who is depicted on the walls, along with the captives of war and Assyrian archers? Assyrian soldiers using slings. Archaeologists even found rounded sling stones the size of a human fist at the remains of this ancient city. One of the hardest parts of slinging is that every time you pick up a new stone, you have to adjust to its weight and shape. This makes it really hard to be accurate, which is why the armies of the ancient world would provide their warrior slingers with artificially rounded stones like these. But if you just wanted to cause chaos, the staff sling was the way to go.
There you go.
Oh!
But can I use a staff sling to hurl a big stone like the ancients?
Okay, ready?
Ready.
I don't know why I'm nervous.
It makes me nervous. Yeah. Okay.
Well, if you're nervous.
Whoa, whoa, you're good, you're good. I would have told you.
That was so terrifying, dude. All right, I'll leave that one to you.
Okay, my camera guy just told me that the cameras are almost cooled down, which is perfect because Dash just has 2 more weapons to show me. Third is the Star Mace.
You do not want to get hit by one of these. Oof. So this is mostly an Egyptian weapon.
Yes. I mean, it was used by, no, it could have, very much a Philistine as well. That was like prevalent of the time. The idea of a mace had been around for a long time.
This is one of the weapons that the Canaanites could have been using against Joshua and his army as they entered the Promised Land. In the Bible, God even calls Babylon his battle axe, his choice weapon for punishing the nations. This Hebrew word literally means a weapon used for smashing. And based on what you're about to see, I think God had a star mace in mind for his analogy.
Okay, ready?
Ready.
Oh my gosh. I did not think that this was gonna have that much power.
Yeah.
Now Dash just has one final weapon to show me before it's time for me to face Goliath. And it's one of the weapons that Goliath himself was armed with when David walked out on the battlefield, the spear.
So if you just have a spear, let's say David was that far, you could easily just throw a spear just as far, right?
Yeah.
It's not hard. That's gonna be an easy throw.
The spear that Dash just threw has a spearhead that probably weighs about 2 pounds, which was the average size of a spearhead in David's time. But the Bible says that Goliath's spearhead weighed 14 pounds. That's 7 times more heavy than the average. And since Goliath was a 9-foot giant, I have no doubt that he could throw that thing hard. It's true that a sling can do some damage, but compared to Goliath, who was a seasoned warrior covered in bronze armor, David really didn't stand a chance.
Woo! Oh!
If he had a large shield, right, like it's literally like, it's gonna bounce off most likely.
Right.
So you have one little opening and one shot to make it happen. I do feel like there was a huge factor of the miraculous in that to thread that needle.
But even though it was seemingly impossible for David to defeat Goliath, he still had the courage to trust God and go to the battle anyways. He didn't just talk about his faith in God, he demonstrated it. And that's the kind of man I'm praying my son will become one day.
So that's what I hope to do for my kids, is not tell them, because words don't mean much. I want to show them what it is to be a good man, to be kind, patient, and loving.
And that's exactly the kind of teacher Dash was for me. From the moment we met, he had been encouraging me every step of the way.
Nice, man. You're getting good at that.
He even asked if we could pray before we got started. But now it's time to see if his teaching was enough. Everything I've learned now comes down to this: can I defeat Goliath?
Here we go. Oh.
Not even close. If I was David, that would have been it for me. But even though I do have some more tries,
Better. That was better.
I don't have too many more because the ballistic gel on the Goliath dummy head is starting to melt under the hot sun. And so am I. It's actually a full body effort to sling these rocks, and I'm really getting exhausted.
You're right, it came. Okay, so you
Did
see.
it fall out?
My slinging is only getting worse. And honestly, I'm worried that all my training has been for nothing.
Oh! That was like so close. Yes! Woo!
Atta kid.
Let's see what it did.
Square in the face.
Oh man.
There you go.
Come over here. Take a look at this. Oof. So it definitely took a chunk off.
Yeah, so right there, that's the orbital bone, right? So that's that bone right here. So it fractured the orbital bone.
Oof.
it went back into here. And so, I mean, it's probably gonna fracture, yeah, see, it went all the way back almost to the ear.
Oh my gosh.
And so that's gonna be basically, at that point, right, you talk about the story about how he fell, but that's like an inoperable injury, right? Because you have tons of little,
you're done
you have
after
lots
that.
of little chunks and powder. So if you're inside here like this, these are gonna be
Ooh.
basically fragment off. And so if it hits in that spot, like, you don't really recover from that.
Just like that, I had landed a fatal wound to our Goliath dummy. But before we left, Dash had a swing at our test dummy too,
Oh!
and delivered a very similar wound to the kind the Bible describes David giving Goliath.
Oh, that hit right here.
It skinned him.
Yeah, but it broke his skull.
What?
Like, it just was enough to dig in there and break it off on the side.
You're the
proud of
man.
you. I'm proud of you.
After today, I have no doubt that the story of David and Goliath is 100% accurate. Now, there's only one more thing to do.